Welcome to ANN Video, a service of the Seventh-day Adventist World Church Communication Department. Coming up, several top church officials update us on their recent projects. But first, here are this week's Adventist News headlines.
An Adventist University in Argentina sends its first missionaries to Lebanon.
Just months after a tragic shooting on campus, enrollment at Montemorelos University in Mexico is strong.
The Adventist Health Study will use a multi-million-dollar grant to fund cancer research.
World Church President Ted Wilson Skypes young Adventists in Malaysia.
U.S. President Barack Obama supports Adventist volunteers in the wake of Hurricane Irene.
And Adventist Church Headquarters hosts its first International Food Festival.
An Adventist University in Argentina is sending its first missionaries to Lebanon and other countries in one of the world's most unreached areas. Spanning parts of North Africa and Asia, the region is home to 2/3 of the world's population, only 1% of which is Christian.
3 months after the shooting death of a Montemorelos University student, enrollment remains strong. Nearly 2,000 students enrolled this semester. University administration said new security measures on campus address growing instability in Mexico and will protect students and staff. Those measures include fewer evening activities, an emergency hotline, and restricted access to campus.
You've probably heard that green vegetables and legumes are good for you. Now, the Adventist Health Study number 2 is learning how these foods can help prevent cancer. The study got a $5.5 million boost recently, thanks to a grant from the National Cancer Institute. Principal investigator for the study, Gary Frazier, said the grant means Loma Linda University can expand its research. For more information, visit AdventistHealthStudy.org.
Frequent traveler and Adventist Church President Ted Wilson visited Malaysia recently, virtually that is. Wilson used the video chat service Skype to address members of a youth congress in Taiping. Young Adventists listened live at 10 o'clock p.m. while Wilson sat at the breakfast table in a California home. He encouraged members who face challenges to religious freedom in the Southern Asia country. He also urged young people to depend on God to avoid discouragement. Adventist youth leaders in Malaysia said the idea of Skyping the World Church President came from a young member there.
A visit from U.S. President Barack Obama this month supported Adventist volunteers in the wake of Hurricane Irene. Obama met with the volunteers from Adventist Community Services and other charities in the parking lot of a home improvement store in Paterson, New Jersey. The president applauded their relief efforts after the hurricane flooded homes and businesses in the state last month. An area Adventist church served as a distribution hub for food and supplies for thousands of affected residents.
And finally this week, Adventist Church Headquarters in the U.S. state of Maryland hosted its first community food fair, Healthy Taste of the World. Hundreds of church and community members enjoyed free samples of cuisine from every continent. A cookbook giveaway, food demonstrations, and health screenings made the event a practical way to share the church's take on healthy living. Also on hand, staff from Christian radio station WGTS, an area Adventist bookstore, and the Adventist Development and Relief Agency. Guests donated more than $700 to help relieve famine in the Horn of Africa.
General Vice President Armando Miranda volunteered at the food fair. He's here to tell us how it ties into Mission Week at church headquarters. But before that, Elder Miranda, can you please tell us what was your inspiration for making a food fair your point of contact with our community?
Well, we thought that it's very important to be in contact with the people, especially because we are a global church. So we have some good things to share with the people. And we thought that the health and food is something that attracts the people, is something that the people is interested in. And we have the opportunity to invite them to come and to just spend some time and not only to taste some of the food that we are just offering to them, but also to take time to speak. So for that reason, we just organized this event. And as a global community, we just are sure that the organization, the General Conference, has the privilege to be just in touch with the community. So at the same time, we organized the Mission Week just to emphasize that we have a message to share with the people, not only in the United States, because we are just a universal church with a universal message, and we think that it's very important for us to share that message that is important for everybody, and especially in this difficult time.
Thank you, Elder Miranda. After the break, we'll talk to Adventist Mission about the first special offering funded almost 100 years ago. Adventist Mission editor Charlotte Ishkanian is here to tell us what the church's first special offering funded almost 100 years ago and how offerings today help further Adventist work worldwide.
Adventists are a mission-minded people. We are encouraged to support mission by praying, by sharing our faith, and by giving a generous offering. Every 3 months, we feature a different region of the world in our Sabbath school emphasis. We learn about the challenges and the opportunities that each field has, and then we choose specific projects in that area that we can support with a special offering that we call 13th Sabbath offering. Almost 100 years ago, the Seventh-day Adventist Church sponsored its first special offering. It helped to build a ship called the Pitcairn that sailed around the world, taking missionaries and ministers of the gospel to tell people in far-flung islands of the South Pacific about God's love. That project drew members together as no other has. On March 26th of this year, we gave a special offering that totaled $3 million. Part of that offering will go to help build school classroom blocks in 3 schools in India and a number of churches for small congregations who simply could never afford a church on their own. This offering was the second largest 13th Sabbath offering ever given. The largest was our love offerings and gifts to help rebuild the churches and the universities in Haiti. The Adventist Church, our mission is mission.
An important reminder. And now we turn to Media Relations Specialist Megan Bronner for this week's social media highlights.
Thanks, Garrett. We've had a busy week on Twitter. Adventist Review news editor Mark Kellner has been tweeting links to his blog. He's traveling through Israel with a group of Christian journalists, and you can follow along on AdventistReview.org, or you can follow him on Twitter. If you don't follow the General Conference Archives and Statistics Department, make sure to check them out on Twitter. They tweet daily about Adventist history, and you can always learn a little bit of interesting trivia from them. This week they tweeted about the Great Controversy. They said that while it's been through 3 revisions, the last one was only a slight refinement of text. The book was first published in 1858. Record Magazine, the church's magazine in the South Pacific, tweeted this week that the Ballarat Seventh-day Adventist Church celebrated its 125th anniversary. Congratulations, Ballarat. Close to home, the Columbia Union's magazine Visitor tweeted that members in Allegheny East and Pennsylvania have been working together to help flood victims. If you want to read more about it, visit Visitor Magazine's website. Loma Linda University tweeted about a very special invitation this week. They've been invited to participate in discussions at the White House regarding medically underserved communities in the United States. We also really liked an animated short film released this week by students at Southern Adventist University. The short film follows 2 space explorers who meet on a distant planet, fall in love, but risk tragic separation by a mysterious alien inhabitant. Find out how this ends on Vimeo. If you want to learn more, visit dangerplanet.blogspot.com. We also liked a story about a Polish immigrant woman who's made LaGrange Adventist Hospital in Illinois her home for the last 2 years. If you want to learn why, visit Adventist News Network's Facebook page and read the rest. Thanks for joining us this week. As always, follow us on Twitter and on Facebook for the latest news. A recent study by Pew Research Center says the religious freedom divide is widening. The church's liaison to Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., Dwayne Leslie, is here to explain.
The religion freedom forecast is grim for the 2 billion people around the world who are suffering because of their religious faith. This was recently highlighted in a Pew Research study that was released within the last few weeks. What we're finding is there's actually a growing disparity between the haves and the have-nots, where certain countries that have typically enjoyed high levels of protection are actually giving more, but countries that have had a high level of intolerance are actually increasing that intolerance at a disturbing level. We're seeing examples like that in China, Egypt, and Iran. We're also seeing examples in Hungary, where recently many churches have been deregistered, Ethiopia, where Christian churches have been bombed, and the assassination in Pakistan of a religious freedom advocate. What we're finding is the process is becoming increasingly politicized, where religion protection is based on the political whims or a change in government. That basically tells us is that we really need to focus in our department and protect religion around the world.
After the break, find out our tech tip of the week.
Welcome back. Here to show us an easy way to add Bible texts to a website is the Director of the Office of Global Software and Internet, John Beckett.
A lot of church websites have sermons, Bible studies, all kinds of things where there are Bible texts on the website. Sometimes, though, we don't make it as easy as we could to look up those texts in the Bible. I'm here today with John Fieser from the Adventist Ministerial Association here at the General Conference, and he's going to share with us a tool that we can use to make it easy for our visitors to look up those Bible texts. John, how did you learn about RefTagger?
A few years ago, someone from the Logos Bible software company was here at the General Conference, and they visited with the Ministerial Association, and they showed us something called RefTagger. With RefTagger, if it's installed on the website, it will automatically highlight Bible passages, and when a website visitor mouses over it, it will pop up a little window, and it'll show the passage. And at that point, you can click on the passage and go see it, the full text, or if you just mouse out, it goes away, and it'll do that for all of the references on the page. And it's very easy to get started with that.
Okay, how easy is it to get started with it?
All you have to do is go to reftagger.com, and there's a little button that says Get RefTagger. You go there, you click it, and you copy the code, and you take it to your website, you paste it in the template or the template file, however your system works, and it'll start working right away.
Great. So if you want to learn more about RefTagger, you can go to reftagger.com, and there are easy instructions to follow on that website for how you can install RefTagger on your website.
Can your daily devotional book help educate Adventist women worldwide? Women's Ministries Associate Director Raquel Rice explains the connection.
One of the areas that Women's Ministries coordinate at the General Conference is the Women's Ministries Scholarship Program. This program was established to support higher education for the Adventist women globally. This year is a very special year to all of us because we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of this program. Our mission is the same: to empower women, strengthen their families, improve communities, and build up our church globally by supporting higher education to our young women. One of the ways you can help is when you buy the Women's Devotional Book, written by women and for women. Why? There is something very exciting about this book. When you buy the book, you know that the royalties fund the scholarship program and help young women all over the globe. So I encourage you to buy the devotional book and to contribute to the scholarship program, and also to help women, young women in this church, to improve their lives and the lives for those who live around them.
You can visit AdventistWomen'sMinistries.com to buy this year's devotional book, Love Out Loud. And speaking of love, let's hear more about an upcoming series of marriage conferences from Family Ministries Associate Director Elaine Oliver.
The Journey Toward Intimacy Marriage Conferences is a one-day marriage conference that the Seventh-day Adventist Church has designed for communities around the world. We are very excited about this conference because, for one, it's a one-day conference and it covers all kinds of topics that will help couples strengthen their relationships. Now, who can attend these conferences? Anyone who is engaged or thinking about marriage, or definitely married couples. So whether you've been married for a month or 60 years, you're welcome to attend these conferences. And the conference is an opportunity for couples to do exactly as it says, journey toward intimacy. Intimacy with God and intimacy with each other. We hope that couples will develop in their oneness with one another. We also will help couples work on their communication with each other so that couples can learn how to communicate better with one another. We also hope that by spending a day with each other, couples will really have an opportunity to reconnect with each other and strengthen their marriage. And by doing so, they will also strengthen their families and pass on a legacy of a strong marriage to their families and to their communities at large. That's what we're hoping to accomplish with these conferences. It's not just to strengthen that one couple, but in the hopes that as we do these conferences, communities will be strengthened. And we know that when we have strong marriages, we have strong families.
We met with Publishing Director Howard Figo to find out how the department is bringing hope to every home.
Greetings from the Publishing Ministries Department of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Today, let me share with you a glimpse about the end-time role of the publishing ministry in proclaiming the gospel of Jesus. In Revelation 18, verse 1, John saw another angel coming down from heaven with great power that lightened the earth with its glory. Many years later, Ellen White said that the work of the angel in Revelation 18:1 in a great extent will be accomplished through our publishing houses. The publishing ministry came to existence by the providences of God to accomplish a specific purpose. Within this scriptural mandate is embodied our mission, and that is to enlighten the world with the glory of God through the use of our literature with the power of the printed page. We have adopted the theme, bringing hope into every home. We aim to reach every home with literature, bringing to them the hope only found in Jesus. Ellen White said that this will be accomplished through the circulation of our literature, by selling through our literature evangelists, and by sharing through our church members. Today we have 47,000 literature evangelists worldwide. We hope that with the 63 publishing houses, we can produce enough literature to circulate. With the power of God, we aim to accomplish this purpose for His glory. Thank you.
After the break, we'll learn why chaplaincy is so much more than ministry to the military.
You probably know that Adventist chaplains support members of the military, but did you know that they also serve at schools, hospitals, and other church institutions worldwide? Chaplaincy Ministries Associate Director Mario Ceballos tells us the scope of chaplaincy's ministry.
What is chaplaincy? Chaplaincy's ministry is ministry to institutions. The difference between chaplaincy and any other kind of ministry is that chaplaincy is when a pastor decides to minister inside of an institution. The Adventist Chaplaincy Ministry Department is the one that certifies, that endorses chaplains so that they can perform and they can work in these institutions. It's a lengthy process in which we make sure that the minister has all of the different requirements to be able to function as a chaplain. Chaplaincy also is evangelism. It is that particular branch of evangelism where we minister and where we feature and we nurture the people that are either in the hospitals, the students that are in the different institutions, the different campuses, and also those that are serving the military in the different countries of the world. So chaplaincy is evangelism, chaplaincy is ministry. We want pastors that are ready to represent the church in these different areas outside the church itself. So we like to say that chaplains are ministers that have specialized in a very particular kind of ministry.
Thanks for joining us this week for our first episode of A&M Video News. We close this week with a few thoughts from our World Church Communication Department Director, Williams Costa Jr.
We are delighted to share with you an expansion of the Adventist News Network service. Since 1994, A&N has been delivering news, photos, commentaries, and information about the development of the church worldwide. Now, this service will be available to you through video. This program is the result of the collaborative effort of the General Conference Communication Department in partnership with the Adventist Review, Hope Channel, and Adventist World Radio. It will be delivered through radio, TV, internet, and the endless possibilities offered by social media. We desire to share hope and the good news of how God is leading the fulfillment of His mission on earth. Thank you for your prayers and support.
And that's it for this edition of A&N Video. Join us again next week for more news from the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
For daily news and videos, visit news.adventist.org.
Until next time, God bless.